Myself, Dr. Manav, and we are back with lecture on polity topic. We have picked a specific topic which is very important, and we can expect one or two questions directly or indirectly from this. So this topic is related to parliament, and specifically it talks about the exclusive powers of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in context to this constitution. So talking about Lok Sabha, which is the lower house or which is called the house of the people, so it has the exclusive power which is under article 75.3, which talks about union council of ministers, which is collectively responsible to Lok Sabha only. So if you read you can when you will if you go through some books of polity books, so there is written the council of ministers is responsible to parliament in general and Lok Sabha in particular. So whether it is general or particular, but if the question comes, so we'll mark that council of minister is collectively responsible to Lok Sabha only. So this is under article 75.3. Then number 2, uh, 112 article, which talks about budget, but budget is nowhere referred in the constitution. So the statement which is referred is annual financial statement, which is called budget, and which is presented by union this finance minister every year. So this is exclusive right of लोक सभा, और उसके पास ही होती है. और उसके बाद जो डिमांड फॉर ग्रांट्स हैं, they can be this voted or introduced only in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. Demands for grants. And then the most important thing, the money bill, the article 1110. You also have to remember the articles, some articles, not all the articles, some articles like money bill is 110, which can be introduced only in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. And a finance bill under article 117.1, it can be introduced only in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. But there is I have read from somewhere that there is that finance bill can also be this originated in Rajya Sabha. But now what is the difference between that finance bill and this finance bill, which can be this introduced only in Lok Sabha? So let's see what's the difference. So if we'll talk about the equal status with Lok Sabha, so introduction and passage of ordinary bills, constitutional amendment bills, and passage introduction and passage of financial bills involving expenditure from consolidated fund of India. So that's there is the difference. That finance bill which talks about the expenditure from consolidated fund of India, so that can be introduced in Rajya Sabha too. But in general, if we will say that financial bill is introduced in Lok Sabha only, then yes, finance bill can be introduced in Lok Sabha only. But if we'll talk about expenditure from consolidated fund of India, so finance bill related to that has equal power. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha has equal power for that. So then if the question arises whether a bill is a money bill or not, so the decision of the speaker of the Lok Sabha is final. And and one more thing, we see that among all the committees, if we see that estimate committee, which has entire 30 members, they all belong to Lok Sabha. And in case of joint session of parliament, this if it is called joint session of parliament is called, it is always presided over by speaker, not by this vice president or this Rajya Sabha's chairman, which is also vice president. And in case of absence of speaker, the deputy speaker can this present, then this joint then this can preside joint session of parliament. And now this part of moving a resolution for discontinuation of national emergency as provided by 44th Amendment Act. So Article 352 is talks about national emergency. So power of moving a resolution for discontinuation of national emergency is exclusive power of Lok Sabha. But now in this case, if Lok Sabha is dissolved or is in process of dissolution or whatever, if it is not functioning, so Rajya Sabha has a role in it. Rajya Sabha can too move a resolution for its approval of national emergency. So another exclusive power of Lok Sabha is that no confidence motion which is against government can be passed in only in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. No confidence motion. So no confidence motion, which means that if it is passed, the government loses its majority, and it has to Lok Sabha has to dissolve. Government has to resign, along with PM has to resign, along with Council of Ministers. So Lok Sabha can this remove this Council of Ministers by passing a no confidence motion. That is case is not in that is not in case of Rajya Sabha. So this is about Lok Sabha. Now we will talk about exclusive powers of Rajya Sabha. Let's see. Where's the page? This is the page. So we have to remember the articles too. I have said so. Article 249. First, it talks about if in case it is the this subject, this parliament can authorize or it can make law on subject which is in state list, that is on if Rajya Sabha says so. If Rajya Sabha says so, it authorizes Parliament to make a law on subject enumerated in state list. So this is this power of Rajya Sabha. So now Article 312, that is related to all India services. So Rajya Sabha can also authorize Parliament to create all India services, which is common to center and states. Okay, and now Article 67, which is related to resolution for removal of vice president. It can be introduced only in Rajya Sabha. So now there are two things which can confuse you. That removal of vice president is done by both this Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But resolution for removal of vice president can be introduced only in Rajya Sabha. So resolution can be removed. This can be moved only in Rajya Sabha, and in case of this removal of vice president, both houses come into role. So now another is Article 352, 356, and 360. Article 352 talks about national emergency, 356 talks about president's rule, and 360 talks about financial emergency. Now in this case, now what is exclusive power of this Rajya Sabha in this case? That I have earlier said so, that if Lok Sabha is dissolved or it is or dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place within this period for its approval, then this same can be done by proclamation, can remain effective even if it is approved by Rajya Sabha. even if Lok Sabha is not in session, or Lok Sabha is dissolved, or Lok Sabha is in process of in dissolution of state of Lok Sabha when it takes place. So Rajya Sabha can also this is proclaim this for approve that proclamation can be remain effective if Rajya Lok Sabha is dissolved too. So these are the exclusive powers or of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So now let us see which are the equal powers. So let us just pick Lakshmi Kant and now see which are the equal status of this Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So introduction and passage of ordinary bills, as I said earlier, introduction and passage of constitutional amendment bills, both it can originate in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So introduction, now this third point which I talked earlier, that introduction and passage of financial bills, which is exclusive power of basically Lok Sabha, but if it involves expenditure from consolidated fund of India, so both have equal powers. Now election and impeachment of president, as both the this election this both the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha MPs, they both play a role in election, so they both play a role in impeachment of the president too. So election and removal of vice president, as I said, this as I said, I think this was technical glitch. So as I said that this there is Rajya Sabha has exclusive power of removing the vice president, but now we can see that election and removal of vice president, there this is the equal status of both. Now what's the difference here? However, that Rajya Sabha alone can initiate the removing by a resolution passed by Rajya Sabha by an effective majority, which is type of special majority, and agreed to by Lok Sabha by simple majority. So a resolution can be passed only in Rajya Sabha for removal of vice president, but not in Lok Sabha. But if in case of removal, both houses have equal power. Not in case of initiation, that is resolution for removal of vice president. And next is that making a recommendation to president for removal of chief justice and judges of Supreme Court and High Court, chief election commissioner and CAG. So both have equal powers. So you have to remember this. And approval of ordinances issued by president, both have equal powers. And approval of proclamation of all three types of emergencies by president. So this also Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha carry equal status. And selection of ministers, including prime minister, under the constitution, the ministers under the prime minister can be members of either house. However, respect of their membership, they are responsible only in to Lok Sabha. Like in case of when this Congress was ruling in 2004 and 2009. So Mr. Dr. Manmohan Singh, he was member of Rajya Sabha but not of Lok Sabha. So Prime Minister can be member of either house. Okay, so now again, selection of ministers including prime minister. Under the constitution, ministers including the prime minister can be members of either house. However, irrespective of their membership, they are responsible only to Lok Sabha. That we have talked already earlier. So introduction of reports of constitutional bodies like Finance Commission, or laying down of reports of constitutional bodies like Finance Commission, UPSC, CAG, etc. So both have equal powers. And now in case of enlargement of jurisdiction of Supreme Court and UPSC, so if the jurisdiction of Supreme Court is being enlarged and UPSC also being enlarged, so both houses have equal say. So here we can say that we have discussed about exclusive powers of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and this equal power of equal status of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I think this video will be helpful for you for your revision, and read it again, and if something you don't get, you can ask or you can search on Google too. So please like, share and comment. And as it is beginning of my channel, so it will take time to this get into it totally. So please be supportive, and I'll keep on posting such videos so you can have you can do your revision. And this videos will be of 15 or 20 minutes max, and you can revise and you can get 2 or 3 questions from this only. So we will pick important topics. So thank you friends, thank you for today.